Hey, what's up, you guys? This is WD3, and this is your Hill Report news break. Well, today, very exciting times, very exciting things going on. Uh, as promised, the Trump mass deportations have begun. Yes, the Trump mass deportations have begun. He started East Coast, West Coast. Folks are being stopped. As let's see proof of citizenship. Some people are saying this is wrong. Some people are saying, hey, you already broke the law. Some people are saying you need to follow the Constitution. Um, I think that there's an argument on both sides. This is definitely designed to be a hot button issue. Who creates a problem? Who creates the reaction? And who already has the solution ready to go? Well, let's see the mayor of Newark, New Jersey. He's picking a fight with Trump right here in the beginning of the Trump administration. Let's see how that turns out for him. I think Trump has way too much political capital right now, too big of a mandate. Uh, I think this is gonna, in my opinion, I'm not telling the future, but I think this is gonna turn out bad for the mayor. I think this is the mayor of Newark, and I think his crowd was, if you all watch it on your own, his crowd was trying to push it back on Governor Murphy, but this guy came out front and center. He said he had to say something. So let's see how Trump reacts. But let's see what he had to say.
Obviously, some ICE agents raided a business in our city without a warrant. They went in the back of the establishment. We believe that there were three people who they say were undocumented that they detained, but they also detained folks that were, in fact, citizens of this country. One person showed their military veteran identification and was still questioned anyway. People were fingerprinted. Pictures of their IDs and face were taken there. When I got this information, I was appalled, upset, angry that this would happen here in this state, in this country, that this would be allowed. Since we said something about it, I convened my folks. I said, we can't just let this happen and not say anything, that we at least have to say something. And so we did, and here we are. And as a result of that, I've got a series of phone calls and emails that were not too nice. One of them says, oh, you're not going to stand idly by. These are dangerous rapists and murderers that the liberals in this country have protected far too long. You want to defy the federal government? F around and find out what will happen, you little whatever. The problem with this is that none of these people were rapists or murderers or criminals. The problem with it is that ICE went in there without a warrant. And we can disagree on politics. You can disagree with me about the role immigrants play in the economy of our community. You can disagree with me about the fact that most immigrants are not criminals. In fact, they are victims of violence in cities. We can disagree about whether you support mass deportation or not. But what we must agree on is that the thing that separates this country from many other countries around the world is the Constitution of the United States. Now, we can't quibble about the Fourth Amendment. We can't quibble about the 14th Amendment, that everybody has the right to due process, that we should be secure in our person, in our papers, in our property from undue search and seizure. Some smart men came up with this a long time ago, and now it's the constitutional laws that we live by, and nobody has the right to go around those laws, to disregard them. It's a slippery slope when we think it's okay to suspend the Constitution of the United States in order to make a political point or statement. That ICE response in their letter that they put out, they say, well, in a very cavalier way, these things happen. There will be some citizens who are going to ask for their ID and their paperwork. There are going to be some citizens who we stop and question. So then my response to that is, how do you determine who's undocumented and who's a criminal just by looking at them. And if we allow people to identify us or put us in categories of criminal or any other thing just by the way we look, then we're going back to a time that was very dangerous in this country, specifically for people that looked like me. I got a letter that said we should arrest the store owner. An email, we should arrest the store owner. I mean, this kind of talk in America is not democracy. This is not the Constitution. This is not a nation of laws. And these are people who say they want to uphold the law, uphold the Constitution, that they love this country. Well, what do you love about this country? The right for us to be secure in our papers. The right for us to have the freedom to practice any religion we want. The right for us to speak, right? The right for us to assemble. The right for us to protest. The right for us to speak any language that we want. This is what we love about this country, that we're not persecuted because of our background. We're not persecuted because who we are. We're not persecuted because what we believe or what we think. What we love about America is the Constitution, right? The Bill of Rights, the things that allow us to do what we're doing today. Say that we want to protect folks in our community, our neighbors, and our family members. That we have a right to protect them, and we will protect them. And I don't care if you write 1,000 terrible emails or call me all day, every day. The fact of the matter is, we believe in democracy in Newark, New Jersey, and we're going to stand on democracy here, and we're going to fight for all of our residents in this city. No matter what that looks like for us. So there's a whole host of people that is supposed to speak today.
Mayor, we need the Immigrant Trust Act. We can do that in Newark, but the rest of the state needs it. We need the Immigrant Trust Act.
Where's Governor Murphy?
Where is Governor Murphy?
We need the Immigrant Trust Act now. It's the only thing that's going to protect our people from this happening further.
I appreciate the passion and the anger, and you should be passionate and angry. Let us get through this press conference and the steps that we need to take further. We will definitely convene and talk about what we need to do outside of us being in this room today. I'm looking for the run of show here.
And yes, folks, if you thought it was over, I'm looking right now over where the fires are. There's a lot of heavy storm clouds, rain clouds. I don't know if that's putting out the fire or not. I have not looked at the updates. I'm definitely not driving over there to see. But it's pretty tough to tell, but it's according to common sense, you would think that a little bit of rain there would dampen the ground, put everything out. But who knows what those fires are made of? Who knows if that's just what it is. But anyway, let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at what's going on with those fires, the latest we see.
Are already choosing to leave the country voluntarily. News Nation's Jorge Ventura joins us live from San Antonio, Texas this morning with more on this story. Jorge, how many migrants are we actually seeing doing this, leaving voluntarily?
Right now, Marky, it's unclear, but we are starting to see a trend, and this comes as cities across the U.S. and Mexico are now bracing for President-elect's deportation operation. But his hardline messaging on those deportation efforts have some migrants panicking and some even choosing now to self-deport back to their home countries. I spoke with immigration attorney Rolando Vasquez, who tells me that some of the immigrants that he represents that entered under the Biden administration are now choosing to return home, fearing deportation under the incoming administration.
Just as recent as yesterday, they notified me that they were going to depart the country voluntarily, and understanding that, the Trump administration is going to carry through on their promises.
And it's not just Trump's deportation plans that are influenced these decisions. Vasquez says it's also that Mexico is now open to accepting non-Mexican deportees. Mexico's move would impact Cuban and Venezuelan migrants the most, since those countries typically do not accept deportation flights from the U.S., but may from Mexico.
This is causing for many migrants to leave on their own, knowing that they're either going to be deported to their home country or be deported to Mexico. and they obviously, the overwhelming majority of them do not want to be in Mexico.
And my sources in Mexico tell me that it's likely that cartels and smugglers will exploit, kidnap, and extort those newly deported migrants. As of right now, it's unclear if Mexico has a plan to protect those deported migrants, Marky.
Yeah, border's about to change on Monday. At least that's what voters were promised. Jorge Ventura, thank you so much, live from San Antonio.
And yes, I'll tell you what, there was one particular fire that really hit home for me, the Eaton fire in Altadena, California, where I grew up. Definitely Altadena, Pasadena is the area where I call home. But I still haven't gotten down there to see the wreckage, see the ruins. It's like I don't even want to see it. I want to remember that great town the way it was. But at some point, I'm sure we're all going to have to face the destruction that these fires have caused. But let's take a look at what was happening during the intensity of the Eaton fire. Take a look back just to show you that how serious this thing was and how serious things are right now in Los Angeles and Southern California. Even in San Diego right now, Trump made a, you can go see Karen Bass and Trump's discussion that he did make a trip here to Los Angeles, but this kind of works to get people out of here by just burning them out. Anyways, let's take a look.
There is another fire emergency in Los Angeles County, the last thing they need with the new wildfires driven by high winds. Overnight, a brush fire broke out near the busy 405 freeway. People living nearby have been warned to get out. At the same time, more than 30,000 have been told to flee the community of Castaic due to those fast-moving Hughes fires, which has exploded in size.
Firefighters descended quickly on the Sepulveda fire that broke out overnight just off the 405 freeway. And another intense firefight earlier on Wednesday. Fire crews battled advancing flames from the Hughes fire burning in northern Los Angeles County, fueled by fierce Santa Ana winds.
The weather is what's predominantly driving this fire, and it's spread right now.
They have been struggling to hold back the flames all afternoon. The concern now being this expanding into the subdivisions here, where there are thousands of people that are trying to evacuate.
And while some residents armed themselves with garden hoses, others were wasting no time in leaving.
It's pretty scary, and I'm not going to take the risk. I'm going.
Idania Perez is one of more than 30,000 residents ordered to evacuate.
My brother just lost his home over in Altadena fire, and now I'm like, oh my God, now it's my turn.